Circuit.com and the director of the Portland Comedy Film Festival. We've got an event coming up in November on the 13th. Portland Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022 is our last event of the year. It will be held at Clinton Street Theater near downtown Portland, and we're going to show you all kinds of films and series episodes, music videos, comedy films, dark comedy, romantic comedy, sketch comedy, stand-up comedy, funny music videos, series pilots, you name it, anything that's going to make you laugh, content that is 30 minutes or less. We're going to be playing an entire program. It's going to be about 5 hours of screening comedy films. One of those films we got coming in is actually a mockumentary film. Is a category that many other festivals try to copy, but I came up with it first, and we all know that. And we're going to talk to director Shem Pennant, whose film is nominated for the Best Mockumentary Film Award, and it is GIO Glazed, The Truth About Genius. Shem, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I haven't streamed in forever, so this is very exciting.
Well, cool. Well, hey, this is something we do, not only just to promote the festival, but you know what? We go live. I don't have to edit this afterwards and upload it to 5 platforms. We just go live and people enjoy it. So we're coming to you on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and I just appreciate you taking the time.
Hello to all those people.
All right. So let's get into it. I'm the type of person that will always tell the end of the story and reveal too much about a film. So I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us the synopsis of GIO Glazed, please.
There's no real story to it, but it's my partner that I work with a lot, Steve Genty, is an incredibly talented actual rapper. Like, he's very good at rapping. He's also very funny. He's like a real actual professional comedian. And then we see a lot of very terrible, very hip rappers making content across YouTube. So this just follows a rapper in that mold, GIO Glaze, but it's not comedy raps. So he's not like, oh, I'm rapping about a sandwich, isn't it funny? It's more just a dissection about how a lot of the actual hype beasts in this world operate.
All right. So it's a real rapper making fun of rappers that aren't real. So is that kind of...
Yes. Yes, it comes from an informed perspective. I know I do not sound like I can comment on the world of youth culture and rap, but Steve was are very much our guide to authenticity and like tone with this piece.
Well, it's very funny. Judges loved it. You make us look good with this one. We really enjoyed it, and we can't wait to show it, at the festival. And mockumentaries are always people, those films always throw people for a loop because everyone looks so serious. And then you realize that it's all a big laugh, and very, very impressive work. And it looks like it's well thought out. I want to give it away, but I love the thing about, I read a Kindle. I was dying laughing when that part came up. So, but anyway, let's get into creatively. You kind of touched on it already about his perspective, about your lead actor's perspective on this whole thing. Why did you say, hey, let's make a piece of content here? Let's make, why'd you put your energy into creating a mockumentary film?
So Steve and I go way back. We met doing comedy together at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theatre in New York, where we used to like improvise and do sketches and characters. And because he's also a real musician, and I'm like, I have a camera, we would like collaborate and make all these music videos. And our first thing that we made was actually like a short 20-minute long visual EP called Manchild, where it just follows him through the day doing and creating lots of content. And initially I thought he wanted me to shoot like just a short like little video, and then it became this sprawling, overly ambitious epic that was like too much to do on like too little money and like no time, but we like made it work. And ever since then, every idea he'll come to me with is like, oh, we can do it like easily and this way, and he'll be like, nah, let's do it the hard way. And he'll like bring all these like ridiculous, insane ideas where it's like we need 20 different people all dancing on a basketball court, and then they move around, and it's like, Steve, like this is a lot and we have no money, but we'll always like make it work. So we wanted to like expand into doing something more than narrative in the narrative space and doing something that's less musical, but still with like a music focus, because that's something we're both musicians. There's like a wall of like weird analog synthesizers behind me for people at home, like and it was like great because we got to collaborate. Like I did all the music, I did all the instrumental music, and he like did all the rhymes, obviously, for the work as well. And it's just being able to, it was fun being able to work together and expand what we're trying to do. And then we are trying to work on the feature together. Initially he wanted us to just make a feature, and I was like, please Steve, can we start with something that's shorter, because otherwise I think you'll kill me. So yeah, like that was huge. It was just it felt like a fun way to collaborate with all these wonderfully talented people that we know, and bring together all these interesting different voices, and then create something that was manageable. And I stress manageable, like just barely, but yeah, we got
there. Good stuff. Well, did you have any challenges production wise that you maybe learned a lesson from this one?
Well, day one of shooting, my Blackmagic camera just did not work. It would not switch on. And that's like my camera that I own, that I have poured like the thousands of dollars into. So it was literally, I was about to record the first interview, which is with the very talented Woody Fu, who's like a real good actor who is in movies and TVs. And it was like, he's a friend of mine, but it was like a huge ask saying, hey, Woody, could you be in this thing for us? And we're all ready to go. And then the camera breaks down. And I had to fight the urge to break down in tears or have like a little strop. And then I ran and found like a backup camera that I just packed just in case of like, oh, maybe it's like a C camera. Maybe we'll like get some like footage from that and do things there. And like just that level of contingency planning, which as I was doing it, felt like, well, this is absurd, was so helpful. And then just being able to like quickly adapt on the fly to what we were doing, because we couldn't pick up a lot of the shots and the framing using the Sony, but we were able to like capture things. We had to like rethink how we were doing sound. It was just a lot of technical mishaps, but being flexible with those. And then in terms of other challenges, was we had all these like background characters that were just sort of standing around a lot, and then at a certain point it was like, it feels like silly not having them do things like it. We're not utilizing all these talent, so we like found all these little moments to give them chances to like speak and like create like things like writing on the fly of things that would be interesting or fun for them to do, and utilize, like everyone there is like, you know, it's skilled like improviser and things like that. But it wasn't just riffing, we wanted to like have it feel like written content, so like creating things that lived within that world was also good. So like both planning carefully and using all the resources, but also not being stuck to that plan, and being able to go, well, we should use this talent that we have. Both those things felt like huge learning points for going forward.
All right, good stuff. Well, what do you have planned for the future? What's next?
So we have another short film about two dads who rap, which we're just desperately searching for funding for, but also a lot of the projects we make we just self-fund, which is fine. Like I have equipment and the ability to use it, which helps. And then we do try to like pay everyone who works for us like at least a nominal sum to like as a thank you, and then we just do other jobs to help fund that. And then we have this really big ambitious feature that we're working on that I think is set in Philadelphia, about public access, that I don't know where we're going to get the money or time to do that, but like we really want to. If there's anyone listening who wants to just give me money, I will take it. Like there's nothing I won't do for cash. So yeah, like those are where we're generally heading, and we're just like trying to write and explore. Like we're both I hate like sounding like haughty about it, but we're both like writers and actors of color from the queer community, so we love like incorporating these sorts of stories and perspectives, but not just the struggle and like how hard everything is, and like through the lens of like oppression, and just more through our lives, just through existing, we meet and interact with all these fun, interesting unusual people, and then we want to like spotlight and platform them and let them like be celebrated. One of my favorite moments in GIO Glazed is Michelle, towards the end, we're basically playing Aquafina, Michelle and Dominique. We just gave them this framework to like play with, and they had like a lot of fun interacting, and then saying things I would never think to write, or that were better than what I would write, or have a different perspective on it. And it was just like, oh, like, you know, I hate bringing up diversity, but like it is just every time you do have like a diverse cast and let them actually say and do things, like it just is, it gives you new content, new perspectives. It just makes everything sound like fresher and more exciting. And then yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't want that. Like I know what I can bring to the table. I'm mostly bored of it. So anytime I get like an additional voice being brought in to like help flesh out a piece, that's very exciting to me. So those are the things I'm doing next.
All right, good stuff, man. This has been really, really interesting, and it's good to hear your background, good to hear what you're doing, and we're looking forward to seeing your new projects. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
What is the piece of comedy you've seen that has like changed your body temperature? Like something you've seen where you've been like, oh, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know they could do that. Or this feels like incredible. Or like so to give an example, I loved How to John Wilson. Everyone did the episode of Joe Pera Talks With You, where they're in the church singing that song. Like that was also like, oh, we can do that. That's fun. Like little moments like that where they like change. Do you have a piece of comedy that you've seen or experienced that has helped you with that?
So many. I mean, I don't know if did you watch the show Silicon Valley?
Of course. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, there were times I laughed so hard at Silicon Valley because they were making fun of themselves, and there was like 10 moments in that first season where I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard. And just the way that the main character, I forget his name now, I haven't seen the series in 3 years, but when he like would get mad and throw a tantrum and kick his way through the door, and his leg would be in there and everyone's staring at him. And they had Kid Rock, he came up on stage and he was throwing that party for all the Silicon Valley people and nobody were paying attention. I mean, just so many moments out of that one series. Now you got me thinking I got to go back and rewatch it.
Richard Hendricks, I believe was his name.
Yeah, Hendricks. It's so funny, man. And I like what I like is I like normal people in awkward situations. And that's what I like about your film too, is because there's just a certain awkwardness to it. I think anyone that can create awkward. I'm not as big a fan of like premeditated Saturday Night Live sketch type things where everything seems forced and like they're reading from a script or like theater. I like it when people are just when they capture awkward, man, where it's like you can imagine yourself, you feel yourself squirming, you feel yourself like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed for this person. That's the type of comedy that changes my blood temperature for sure.
I think what was helpful with GIO is that Steve's like very charming, very like smart, and very like charismatic, and like has all this like just raw talent he's bringing to the stage. But I am the most awkward person I've ever met. So when people see us interact, they're like, how are you friends? Like, well, this dynamic makes no sense. But then it really helps with like bringing out those little moments when the way people act or do is really, really helpful. So yeah, like and then I just love how he will like say, what is this? And then he'll just like but he'll like truly like on an idea, like the not to spoil it, but the scene in the pool, or the scene with the pool, he was like, what is happening? And it's like, no, don't worry, just trust me, they're just falling around like a little iPhone with like a gimbal. And then like when he like saw it, was like, I got you, like that like, makes sense. So yeah, like yeah, just that trust and like leveraging his raw, like he will be very successful very, very shortly and forget me. But like this brief moment where we get to like interact has felt great. The other thing I would like to add is I'm truly just very grateful to all the judges for selecting me. It's like
well, thank you.
It's huge when we got that email through.
Well, thanks. You make the judges in Portland look good with this one on screen. It's going to be a lot of laughs. And what I do want to make the comment, I just like how certain moments it looked like nobody was expecting exactly how funny it was going to turn out. Like I felt like you were shooting and keeping takes where it was like, okay, let's just keep that. And I like that like organicness to it. And you know, you have to have an eye for that. I mean, when you get to the edit, you always have too much. And so I think you did the right amount. And I think it really turned out well. I appreciate your efforts. And we're just looking forward to making people laugh in Portland.
Great. I'll see you there.
All right, my man. Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye.